In this story, we see that because of a deadly virus spreading all over the world, almost every human has turned into a zombie. But these are not normal zombies. They are so fast that they can even catch a flying airplane. Some of them are so smart that they can think better than humans, and some can smell their targets from miles away. In this dangerous world, only 2 humans are left alive. Can they survive or not? Let's find out in today's story. The story begins with a young boy sitting in his room watching cartoons on TV. Suddenly, the TV signal cuts off, and an emergency report appears on the screen. The news completely wipes the smile off his face. The report says that a highly dangerous virus has spread across the world, turning infected people into terrifying zombies within minutes. The virus spreads very quickly, and now the entire world is affected. The reporter warns everyone watching to find a safe place immediately. As the boy listens carefully, he suddenly hears strange noises coming from upstairs. His breath catches in his throat. He slowly walks upstairs to check, and it turns out it was just his older sister playing a prank on him. After that, both of them go to their mother's room. They see their mom looking extremely worried. She is on the phone with her husband, explaining the situation. Her husband, who is a pilot, tells his wife and kids that the virus is spreading everywhere very fast. He warns them not to wait for him at home. They should leave the city immediately and find a safe place. He tries to calm them down, saying, "Don't worry, you'll be safe. Your mom will take care of you." Then he shows his lucky bracelet to his daughter, Abigail. It's the same bracelet that she made for him herself. Abigail smiles happily seeing that. Meanwhile, their mom starts packing quickly, gathering food and supplies, but soon they start hearing people screaming outside. Realizing the danger is very close, she rushes both kids out of the house. Just as they are about to get into the car, a zombie suddenly attacks their mother. Terrified, Abigail hides under the car. From there, she watches her little brother and mother getting killed by the zombies right in front of her eyes. The zombie doesn't notice Abigail and walks away. The poor girl is shaking in fear. Then she looks again and sees something horrifying. Her mother has now turned into a zombie too. Her zombie mom spots her and starts walking towards her to attack. But before she can reach Abigail, a man suddenly appears like a guardian angel. He shoots the zombie mother and saves Abigail's life. After a few moments, the man notices that Abigail's little brother is also turning into a zombie. Sadly, he tells Abigail to cover her ears, and then he shoots her brother too. Abigail cries quietly while the man looks at her with pity. The scene then shifts 10 years later. The world has completely changed. Because of the zombie virus, human civilization has been destroyed. Cities are empty, houses are broken, and the few people left alive now live in constant fear of being hunted by the fast and deadly zombies roaming the earth. The cities that once shined with bright lights are now completely empty. Almost all humans are either dead or have turned into zombies, wandering aimlessly. Now, only 2 humans are left alive. The little girl Abigail, who was saved years ago by a man named Jack. She's grown up now. Ever since that day, Abigail has been living under Jack's care. Jack trained her to survive, to fight zombies, and to never give up. If Jack hadn't saved her back then, Abigail would have died long ago. That's why she sees him as her own father. After spending so many years alone in the forest, Abigail starts to feel really lonely. Deep inside, she wishes she could find a human settlement, a place where people live together again. But Jack doesn't like living among others at all. One night, while they are camping in the forest, Jack suddenly wakes up after hearing a strange noise. He quietly steps outside, and just then, a zombie attacks him from the darkness. Jack quickly fires his gun and kills it. Abigail runs out of the tent to help him. Both of them have been hunting zombies for 10 years now, so they know that zombies always move in groups. That means more are nearby. Without wasting time, they pack up and leave on their horses. But soon, the horses start neighing nervously, a sign that danger is close. They look around and spot a jeep overturned in the distance. Near it, a man is struggling to fight off a group of zombies. Since humans are so rare now, Jack and Abigail can't ignore him. They decide to help. Jack also wants to test Abigail's aim and focus, so he tells her, "You'll save this man. Let's see if you're truly ready." He calmly tells her to take a deep breath, focus on the target, and then shoot. But Abigail panics and shoots too early. The bullet hits both a zombie and the man she was supposed to save. Jack gets angry at her mistake. They rush over to the man, but it's too late. He's dying. Jack realizes the man won't survive, and if a zombie has bitten him, he could turn any moment. So Jack makes the hard decision to end his suffering and shoots him to stop him from turning into a threat. After that, they start collecting supplies from the dead man's jeep. Jack takes his shoes and puts them on, but as soon as he does, more people arrive. The dead man's armed friends. They surround Jack and Abigail, thinking they killed their companion for his stuff. When one of them notices the shoes Jack is wearing, they become furious. Just as they're about to attack, a pregnant woman steps out of the car and tells her men to stop and let Jack and Abigail go. But suddenly, Jack's black horse starts neighing loudly again, warning them of something approaching. The next moment, terrifying sounds echo from the forest. A huge swarm of zombies charges toward them from all directions, like a storm. Everyone grabs their weapons and starts firing. They're heavily armed, but the zombies are far too many and way too fast. The fight for survival begins, and no one knows who will make it out alive. The zombies start attacking one by one and bite most of the people in the group. The few who are still alive have nowhere to hide, and soon, only a handful of survivors are left. One strong man gets bitten by a zombie. Knowing what's about to happen to him, he tries to shoot himself before turning, but his gun is out of bullets. Now everyone realizes they can't fight the zombies anymore, so Abigail quickly helps the pregnant woman woman get into the car. The woman's husband David is also in the car, and Jack jumps into the driver's seat, starting the engine as fast as he can. They speed away from the chaos. Out of the whole group, only these 4 people are left alive. Everyone else has been killed by zombies. Back at the battlefield, a black-faced zombie sees his dead zombie friends and becomes furious. Meanwhile, the 4 survivors are still driving through the empty roads, trying to get as far away as possible. Jack turns to the woman in the back seat and asks, "Who are you, and what were you doing out there?" The woman explains that they were trying to reach a place called Shiptown, a safe zone where humans are still living peacefully. "It has everything we need," she says. "Food, water, medicine, power, and people. We just wanted to live a normal life again." Hearing this makes Abigail really happy. That's exactly the kind of place she's been dreaming about. But Jack doesn't believe it. He shakes his head and says, "There's no such colony. I've been wandering for the past 10 years, and I've never seen any human settlement like that." Just then, the car suddenly stops. It's broken down. David gets out to check and tells them, "I'm a mechanic, I can fix it." But when he looks inside, he realizes they don't have the tools needed for the repair, so they have no choice but to leave the car behind and continue their journey on foot. After walking for many kilometers, they finally reach an abandoned residential area. Tall buildings still stand, but everything is silent, a dead silence that feels heavy. They carefully search the area first. Once they're sure it's safe, they decide to spend the night there. That night, they make a small fire and cook some food. Abigail can't stop thinking about Shiptown. She sits beside the pregnant lady and starts asking more about it. The woman smiles and says, "We already made radio contact with the people living in Shiptown. It's a beautiful place, safe, peaceful, and free. A place where humans can live again." Hearing this, Abigail's eyes light up with hope. She finally feels like there's something worth living for. Meanwhile, Jack is outside setting traps all around their campsite. Just in case any zombies get close, they'll know right away. When he comes back in, he opens a map and explains his plan. He tells everyone that he will guide Megan and David part of the way, and then they'll go separate ways afterward. But Abigail doesn't agree with this. She argues with Jack, saying, "David won't be able to protect his pregnant wife on his own. We should go with them." Jack replies calmly, "We have to be smart. The more people travel together, the more danger follows." But Abigail gets upset with his decision and walks away angrily. Neither of them realizes that the black-faced zombie, the same one from earlier, has already tracked their scent and is now getting closer to their car. The next morning, Abigail is sitting on the rooftop, looking at her childhood photo, lost in her memories. Suddenly, she hears a rustling sound coming from the trees below. Her eyes widen in fear. She immediately understands that the zombies have entered the area. She quickly runs downstairs to warn everyone, but before she can reach them, one zombie spots her and starts chasing her. Abigail runs as fast as she can, climbing up the stairs to save herself. While running, she pushes the chasing zombie down the staircase, but in that moment, she also loses her balance and almost falls. Just before she can hit the ground, Jack rushes forward and grabs her in time, saving her life. A few moments later, the black-faced zombie arrives at the area with his group. He has tracked the location of his fallen zombie partner and is furious. But before they can attack, many of them get caught in the traps Jack had set earlier. Several zombies are killed in the explosion. Hearing the blast, Jack immediately realizes that the zombie horde has reached the place where they had stayed last night, and that the zombies are still tracking them. Thankfully, they had already left that area by then. While traveling through the road, Abigail suddenly remembers something. She tells Jack, "A little ahead, there's a small airport where my father used to work. Maybe there are still some planes left there. If we can find one, we can fly straight to Shiptown." Jack shakes his head and says, "That airport is an open place. If the zombies surround us there, we'll have nowhere to run. It's too risky, and I doubt we'll even find a working airplane." But Abigail keeps insisting, her eyes filled with hope. After thinking for a while, Jack finally agrees to go. When they reach the airport, it looks completely deserted. There's no airplane in sight. Jack sighs and says, "See, I told you there wouldn't be any planes here." But just as they are about to give up, they spot a small garage nearby. When they open the garage door, they're shocked. There's a small airplane inside. Everyone's face lights up with joy. Their dream of reaching Shiptown finally feels possible. But the plane looks old and unused for a long time. David, who's a mechanic, checks it and says, "It's not too bad. I just need 10 to 15 minutes to fix it." While David starts repairing the plane, Jack and Abigail go around the airport looking for useful supplies. Suddenly, David looks through his binoculars. His heart skips a beat. In the distance, he can see a massive group of zombies running toward them. He quickly runs back, shouting, "They're coming! We have to take off now, or we'll all die here." Abigail rushes to the cockpit and jumps into the pilot's seat. She grabs the manual and starts reading. Her father was a pilot, so she still remembers some of the controls he taught her years ago. Meanwhile, Jack takes his gun and starts shooting at the zombies to buy her some time. Abigail's hands tremble as she turns the switches. The engines sputter, and finally the airplane roars to life. But it's already too late. Hundreds of zombies have reached the runway. They're running at full speed toward the plane. One zombie even manages to grab the airplane door just as it starts moving. Jack fires a bullet straight into its head, freeing the plane. Abigail focuses and pulls the control lever with all her strength, and at last, the plane lifts off into the sky. Everyone in the plane breathes in relief. They look down at the burning runway, finally feeling safe. Abigail smiles. They're heading straight to Shiptown now. As they moved a little further ahead, suddenly smoke started coming out of the airplane's engine. This happened because the plane hadn't flown for the past 10 years, and its engine couldn't handle the pressure anymore. The engine exploded, and the plane began to fall rapidly toward the ground. Jack stayed calm and quickly took control. Using his quick thinking, he crash-landed the airplane onto a large tree. They all got a few injuries, but luckily, their lives were saved. The airplane was now completely useless, so they had no choice but to continue their journey on foot. After walking for a long distance, they finally reached an abandoned railway station. It was already night, so they carefully checked the surroundings to make sure no zombies were nearby. When they saw the area was safe, they decided to spend the night there. Looking at the map, they realized they were now only 2 days away from Shiptown. Here, the pregnant woman came to Jack and thanked him. She told him that without him, they would never have made it this far. Hearing this, Jack felt a strange sense of sympathy for Megan. He shared his past with her. 10 years ago, when the zombie virus first broke out, he had to kill his own wife because she tried to bite him. From that day on, something inside him had died. The only reason he was still surviving was his daughter, Abigail. She was the only thing left that kept him human. Jack then told Megan that his priorities had changed. Now, he said, I'll make sure you reach Shiptown safely before anything else. Megan smiled, feeling truly grateful. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Megan's husband, David. He holds a gun to his head, ready to end his life. A zombie had bitten his leg, but the wound was small, so the infection was spreading very slowly. David knew he would eventually turn into a zombie, but before that happened, he wanted to make sure his wife reached Shiptown safely, and then he would leave her forever. The next morning, the four of them continued their journey again. As they walked, Jack started noticing David's strange behavior. It didn't take him long to realize that David was infected. Jack quietly took him aside to an empty spot, away from Megan and Abigail. When Jack lifted David's pants, he saw the bite mark clearly. That confirmed it. David didn't have much time left. Jack looked into his eyes and asked, "Tell me honestly, do you want to die by my hand, or will you do it yourself?" David said calmly, "I'll never hurt anyone, and if it ever comes to that, I'll end my life myself." Hearing that, Jack decided to let him go. As they continued walking, night began to fall again. Up ahead, they saw a house glowing faintly in the distance. Jack raised his gun carefully and approached the door. Suddenly, a bright light flashed in their faces, and a voice spoke from a loudspeaker. "Put your weapons down or we'll shoot you full of bullets." Realizing that humans were inside, Abigail quickly stepped forward and shouted, "Wait, we don't want to hurt anyone. We just need help." A few moments later, the owner of the house came out. He looked at them and said, "You can stay here for the night and have plenty of food, but on one condition. You must leave all your weapons outside." They agreed to his condition, left their guns outside, and followed the man into the house. The man welcomed everyone into the house with a smile and said, "I'm a scientist. I live here all alone. I could have left this place if I wanted, but it's easier for me to do my research here." He then served them a proper meal, real food, something they hadn't seen or tasted in a very long time. Everyone was shocked to see such delicious food and started eating eagerly. After dinner, the scientist brought them drinks too. For the first time in many days, they were all relaxed, sitting together, laughing and talking like normal people again. But as the scientist kept talking, something about his words started to feel strange. He said, "You see, this virus may look like a curse, but in a way it's also a gift. The weak ones are gone and only the strong survive. Zombies are stronger. They live only to feed, not to waste time on meaningless progress. So maybe zombies deserve to rule the world." Hearing this, the group felt deeply uncomfortable. His tone didn't sound like he was joking. Meanwhile, David began feeling worse and excused himself to go to the bathroom. When he looked in the mirror, he saw that the virus had now spread all over his body. His skin was pale, his veins dark. He was changing fast. When David came back to the living room, he was shocked to see Jack and the others lying unconscious on the floor. The truth hit him immediately. The scientist had mixed some kind of sleeping drug into their drinks. David, furious, ran toward the scientist to attack him, but before he could reach him, the scientist pressed a button on a small device in his hand. Instantly, David felt his body go weak. He fell to the ground, unable to move. The scientist laughed and said, "This device, I created it after years of hard work. With this, I can go anywhere in the world, and no zombie can harm me. In fact, this device lets me control the zombies themselves. Soon, I'll be the ruler of this entire world, and everyone will obey me, living or dead." David's vision faded, and he blacked out. When he woke up again, he found himself and his friends tied up. The scientist stood nearby, preparing to run experiments on all four of them. The scientist smiled creepily and said, "Would you like to meet my wife?" Then, he pulled a curtain aside. Behind it was a large cage. Inside the cage was his wife, but she was a zombie. He had trapped her there and fed her living humans. That same woman had been his first experiment. She was the reason he created that zombie-controlling device. The scientist opened the cage door, but the moment he did, his wife lunged at him and attacked. He quickly pressed the device again and managed to control her, forcing her to turn toward the prisoners instead. She ran straight toward Jack and jumped at him. Jack kicked her hard and pushed her away. At that moment, David, using the power of the virus inside him, gathered all his strength and broke free from the ropes. Then he helped free the others. Realizing he was in danger, the scientist panicked and ran away from the house. The group quickly grabbed their belongings and rushed outside. Luckily, they found the scientist's car parked nearby. They jumped inside, started the engine, and drove off into the forest. But the scientist wasn't ready to give up. Using his device, he summoned and controlled a massive horde of zombies to chase after them. Jack stepped hard on the accelerator, speeding through the dark road. The car raced forward, leaving the zombie crowd far behind, but soon they hit a dead end. The road was completely blocked. Now they had no choice but to continue their journey on foot once again. After walking a little further, the zombies finally caught up to them again. David knew he didn't have much time left. The virus was spreading fast inside him, and soon he would turn into one of them. So he told everyone else to keep moving ahead while he stayed behind to hold the zombies off. But his wife, Megan, refused to leave him. Tears filled her eyes as she begged him not to stay. David gently held her hand and said, "You have to live for our baby. Everything I'm doing now is for our child." With that, he turned around and faced the incoming zombies bravely. David fought them fiercely, using every bit of his remaining strength. For a long time, he managed to stop them and buy time for his friends to escape safely. But eventually, one of the zombies overpowered him and killed him. Jack carried Megan in his arms and kept moving forward. Finally, they reached a place that still had living humans, a real safe zone. Abigail began shouting for help because a massive crowd of zombies was right behind them. Guards on the watchtower spotted them and quickly started shooting down the zombies with their sniper rifles to cover them. Soon, a rescue boat was sent out. The three of them, Jack, Abigail, and Megan, jumped into the boat and were taken safely inside Shiptown. The black-faced zombie reached the edge of the water but stopped his army there, realizing they couldn't cross the sea. Inside Shiptown, Megan's delivery pains began. She needed immediate medical help. Thankfully, there were doctors and a working hospital here. The next morning, the camera shows how this place was built by connecting many big ships together, forming a floating town surrounded entirely by water. Jack told Abigail that they should leave soon, but Abigail refused. She said she liked it here. Being among people again made her feel alive. This led to a heated argument between the two. Just then, a doctor arrived and told them that Megan had given birth to a baby girl, but because she lost too much blood, she might not survive for long. Hearing this, Jack's heart sank. He rushed to the hospital room where Megan lay weak and pale. She gently handed her baby to Jack and said she wanted him to take care of her, to raise her just like Abigail. Jack looked at the newborn and was reminded of his late wife. Tears filled his eyes as he promised to protect the baby no matter what. Meanwhile, Abigail was having fun, laughing and dancing with a handsome guy. She couldn't believe people here could still drink, dance, and enjoy beautiful music after all the horrors they'd been through. It made her want to stay here even more. After a while, she saw that same handsome guy sneaking quietly into a cabin. Curious, she followed him. When she entered, she was shocked. The entire cabin was filled with wires and explosives. There was even a wireless switch hanging on the wall. As soon as she touched the switch, the guy rushed back in and explained everything. He said they had planted bombs under Shiptown. If the town was ever overrun by zombies, people could escape through a secret route, and then they'd blow up the place to stop the infection from spreading. But neither of them knew that this situation was about to happen much sooner than anyone expected. The scientist, furious and filled with rage, had tracked them all the way to Shiptown. He looked around and saw that many of his zombies had been killed, the very creatures he planned to use to rule the world. The scientist used his control device to take command of the black-faced zombie king. With his help, even the deep water under Shiptown could no longer protect the people. Soon, countless zombies started crawling up from beneath the water and climbed onto the ships. They launched a massive surprise attack, killing many innocent people. Panic and chaos spread everywhere as people screamed and tried to escape. Jack quickly realized that the zombies had invaded the town. His first thought was of Abigail. He couldn't let anything happen to her. He grabbed his weapon and began fighting through the zombies, killing them one by one as he searched for her. After a long struggle, he finally found Abigail. But just then, the evil scientist also reached the ship and punched Abigail hard, knocking her down. Seeing this, Jack was filled with rage. He charged toward the scientist, but before he could reach him, a zombie appeared out of nowhere and pushed Jack off the deck, throwing him into a tank below. The scientist jumped down after him, determined to finish him off. He kicked Jack hard and knocked him to the ground. But Jack was smart. He knew fighting the scientist directly would be pointless. So instead, he grabbed the scientist's arm and smashed the control device against the wall, breaking it completely. Without the device, the scientist lost all power to control the zombies. Within seconds, the furious zombies turned on him and tore him apart. The good thing was, there was already an escape tunnel built under the camp. Many of the surviving people used it to cross to the other side of the river. Meanwhile, the handsome guy was ready to press the detonation button to blow up Shiptown, but he couldn't do it yet. Abigail was still trapped inside. Jack and Abigail started running toward the exit, trying to escape before the whole place exploded. But before they could reach safety, the zombie king appeared again and grabbed Abigail tightly. Jack quickly picked up a wooden stick and smashed it across the zombie's head, knocking him back. Then, Abigail noticed something that made her freeze. The zombie king was wearing a bracelet. It was the same bracelet she had made for her father when she was a little girl. Her eyes filled with tears as she realized the truth. The zombie king was her father. Jack didn't give her time to think. He grabbed her hand and pulled her away, yelling for her to run. As they ran, the handsome boy saw them escaping and finally pressed the button on the wireless remote. Within seconds, the entire Shiptown exploded into flames and turned into ashes. But the battle wasn't over yet. The leader of the camp staggered in, holding his neck. He had been bitten by a zombie during the fight. And then, to everyone's shock, the zombie king had somehow survived the explosion too. Jack ran toward him and began to fight with all his strength, but the zombie king was too powerful, and Jack started to lose. Seeing this, Abigail picked up a gun from the ground. Her hands were shaking. She knew the zombie king was her father, but right now he was about to kill Jack, the man who had raised and protected her all these years. Without thinking any further, Abigail pulled the trigger. The bullet hit the zombie king right in the head, and he fell to the ground, finally dead. She burst into tears but knew she had made the right choice. If she hadn't shot him, everyone else would have died. After the fight, Jack and Abigail hugged each other tightly. They looked out at the open sea with the few survivors who remained. Far away, they could see a quiet, empty island. Jack told everyone that they would start a new life there, build a new home, and a new beginning for humanity. And that's how the story ends, with hope rising again from the ashes of destruction.